Ladies and gentlemen, in a twist of events that I'm sure comes as a surprise to absolutely no one, MSNBC's one and only Joy Reid has just been fired. Now, Joy Reid, who is perhaps best known for her incredibly low IQ and her anti-white racist monologues, has been struggling with low ratings for years now. As it would turn out, no one really wants to watch a professional race baiter like Joy Reid blame all of the world's problems on the evil white male patriarchy. So folks, today we're going to do something a little bit different with today's video. You see, today what I want to do is go through some of Joy Reid's highlight clips to really get a deeper understanding of exactly why she got fired. And by the way, Joy Reid is just so incredibly stupid that between you and me, I think today's video is going to be pretty funny. So without further delay, to kick things off, take a look at Joy Reid's stunning commentary on the recent 2024 election.
I mean, this really was an historic, flawlessly run campaign. Queen Latifah never endorses anyone. She came out and endorsed. She had every prominent celebrity voice. She had the Taylor Swift, she had the Swifties, she had the Beehive. Like, you could not have run a better campaign in that short period of time. And I think that's still true.
You hear that? Kamala Harris had a flawlessly run campaign. She even had Queen Latifah, Taylor Swift, and Beyonce endorse her. Ignoring the fact that, as we now know, all of those celebrities were paid millions of dollars for their endorsements, but other than that, it was a flawlessly run campaign. Well, also, other than the part where she suffered an absolutely catastrophic loss. But okay, now as many of you know, inflation was a hot topic on the 2024 campaign trail. Take a look at what Joy Reid had to say about that.
The people I ever hear use the word inflation are journalists and economists, right? So that is not part of the normal lexicon of the way people talk. So it's interesting that Republicans are doing something they don't normally do, right? Which is not use the common tongue, right? Not use just common English to sort of do on their campaigns like they're doing with crime. But what they've done is they've taught people the word inflation, right? Yeah. Most people who would have never used that word ever in their lives are using it now because they've been taught it, including on TV, including in newspapers. They've been taught this word, and they sort of wrap this word around whatever it is that they really want to vote.
Folks, like I said, Joy Reid is an absolute moron. She actually thinks that understanding inflation is akin to some secret, ancient, esoteric wisdom that the stupid, normal, everyday people just aren't smart enough to understand. In reality, I'd expect that she had never heard of inflation and she's just projecting her stupidity onto the rest of us. But okay, before we move on, I want to say, if you guys enjoyed the daily news coverage, please consider subscribing to the channel because it really does help a ton with my daily struggle against the YouTube algorithm. But okay, while we're talking about the 2024 campaign trail, take a look at what Joy Reid had to say about Trump's assassination attempt.
Here's the question that I have on that. These two men are both elderly. Donald Trump is an elderly man who, for whatever reason, was given 9 seconds to take a iconic photo op during an active shooter situation. Weird situation. We'll figure that out one day. But his survival of that and bouncing right back and going right to his convention is being conveyed in the media world as a sign of strength. This current president of the United States is 81 years old and has COVID. Should he be fine in a couple of days? Doesn't that convey exactly the same thing? That he's strong enough, older than Trump, to have gotten something that used to really be fatal to people his age. So if he does fine out of it and comes back and is able to do rallies, isn't that exactly the same?
It should.
I mean, it's not exactly the same. It's not the same incident, but it's an elderly man coming through out of an illness.
It should.
Did she really just try to make that comparison? Did she really just compare Trump surviving an assassination attempt, quite literally getting shot in the head, then standing up and pumping his fist in defiance, to Joe Biden getting sick for a couple of days? What an absolute idiot. But you know what was actually the funniest part about that? Not even Jen Psaki could keep a straight face. Even she couldn't help herself from laughing at just how stupid Joy Reid is. But okay, let's move on and hear from Joy Reid about why the evil Donald Trump must be stopped at all costs.
In Project 2025, folks like Miller, Vance, and Trump want to nationalize their long-term goal of putting a stop to what they call anti-white racism.
Anti-white racism. Yeah, because it's just impossible to be racist towards white people, right? Give me a break.
In America, there's a thing about both white vigilantism and white tears, particularly male white tears. Really white tears in general, because that's what Karens are, right? They Karen out, and then as soon as they get caught, it's like, green waterworks.
Yeah, so she's pretty much just a racist towards white people, which is probably why she's so worried about President Trump putting an end to all of this critical race theory bullcrap. But folks, between you and me, I'm sitting here wondering, how did Joy Reid get her job at MSNBC in the first place? Where did she come from?
Let me just be clear. I got into Harvard only because of affirmative action. I went to a school no one had ever heard of in Denver, Colorado, in a small suburb. But someone came to Denver, Colorado to look for me. A Harvard recruiter flew to Denver, and I met up with her at the Village Inn restaurant and did a pre-interview to get to pull me into Harvard. I was pulled in, and the schools like Harvard and Yale that I got into affirmatively. Yes. And it was literally not saying we're going to take an unqualified person and put them in Harvard. Yes. We're going to take a very qualified person who we would never know existed and put them in Harvard. That's how I got there. That's how Ketanji got there. That's how Justice Jackson, I should say. Justice Jackson got there. It's how Clarence Thomas got there. Right. But the minute I arrived from my majority black little town, Montbello in Denver, to Harvard, the first week or two that I was in class, my presence was questioned by white people. I was in this big conference class where some white students stood up and said, those students, the black students, they're only here because of affirmative action.
Yeah, wow. I wonder why her presence at Harvard would be questioned. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that she just admitted to being scouted out and literally pulled into Harvard on an affirmative action scholarship solely because of the color of her skin. Maybe that has something to do with it. But folks, as you can see, it's really just a series of never-ending anti-white, completely incompetent behavior that led to Joy Reid getting fired. Because hey, like I said earlier, MSNBC's ratings have absolutely been in the toilet because guess what? No one wants to watch that sort of garbage. In fact, incidentally, President Trump gave his thoughts on MSNBC just yesterday. Take a look at this.
I watch this MSNBC, which is a threat to democracy, actually. They're stone cold mean, but they're stuttering. They're all screwed up. They're all mentally screwed up. They don't know what. Their ratings have gone down the tubes. I don't even talk about CNN. CNN's sort of like, I don't know, they're pathetic, actually. But MSNBC was mean. Their ratings are absolutely down. This Rachel Maddow, what does she have? She's got nothing. Nothing. She took a sabbatical where she worked one day a week. They paid her a lot of money. She gets no ratings. I should go against her in the ratings because I'll tell you, she gets no ratings. All she does is to talk about Trump, 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 Trump. All different subjects. Trump this, Trump that. But these people are really, they lie.
So hey folks, now that Joy Reid has been fired at MSNBC, how long do you think it'll be before none other than Rachel Maddow gets canned as well? Because as you all know, her ratings aren't looking too good either right now. But folks, I think that's going to be a wrap for this one, so please go down below in the comments, let me know what you think about it. Please like the video if you liked it. Like I said earlier, please consider subscribing to the channel because it really does help a ton. Thank you all very much for watching, and of course, as always, stay safe.